Growing up, we played a lot of games, and one of them I remember fondly was red light, green light. Reminds me a lot of this market today, and unfortunately, Squid Games kind of ruined that for me. But we're going to talk about the red light, green light of the market. My name is Brian Cannon. Welcome to Markets in 5. So if you've watched enough of these episodes, you know I'll go on and on about these channels. Well, I think I can probably stop talking about the channels now. I think the channel trend is over. So a lot of times what happens is when the market rises and has its channel trends and heads up, eventually it begins to consolidate those gains, and sometimes you can kind of go into a sideways pattern, and that appears to be what we're in now. So if we take a look at the chart, of course, broke that pattern, broke the channel, which we talked about. I think 2 weeks ago, we were right around here. So I was really harping on the importance of holding this red line, this support line there. And if that had broken, it would have been a sign to the market that we're now starting to trend lower. So as of right now, although it's been a big swing, it's just really been a consolidation of this long-term gain that we've had. So now the market's just kind of stewing back and forth. It's like, green light, we're on, red light, we're off, green light, we're on, red light, we're off, which is kind of the theme of this episode. But you can see that we're in this kind of sideways pattern here. So the support here is extremely important to make sure that it's being held up over the long term. And then we've got a lot of resistance up here at the green line. There was a false breakout, came down, tested it, couldn't get back through. So we're seeing some positive momentum right now. And in this blue line here, you've seen a little breakout here. So it's kind of it broke it, came up, tested it, broke down, tested it, and broke through it yesterday. So we actually put some risk on during this period of time. So where we were peeling it off, we turned around and put it all pretty much back on, which is why I want to caution folks. I've had a couple people mention to me, hey, I love your Markets in 5. I coordinate my 401k to your recommendations. And let me remind you, this is not a recommendation. We may be in a complete sell one day, and 2 days later be 100% invest in the market. So please don't use this as guidelines for risk taking inside your 401k. But we've had a nice little break up in the MACD. We're having a nice trend in the RSI. Again, the market kind of broke out here, the S&P 500. ADX hasn't had a buy signal yet, but everything else is adding up well. All right, on to our theme for red light, green light. You can see here, this is a company that's growing leaps and bounds. And yes, they were overpriced, and they were in the tech space just like everybody else. However, they're growing massively and making a lot of money. Still overvalued, but the market really snapped back a lot of that excess market cap in this pullback. So this one company, Hubs, dropped essentially over 53% from peak to trough. To me, that sounds like a bear market. That sounds like a massive correction. So you've got to be careful with some of these growth names when inflation starts to take off and the market starts to get a little rocky, because those are the first ones that get slaughtered when the market turns. However, they're also some of the first ones that come racing back when the market stabilizes. So with the stabilization in the market and the fact that this dropped 53%, you can see that this channel trend was held up, broke it, and then just lights out, red light all the way down, found some support here, bounced up, and then as of yesterday took out this all-time this downward trend, this downward slope. So again, we're not out of the weeds on this one, or any. There's a lot of them like it. We're not out of the weeds on those, but it's looking positive, and it's probably a pretty good time to start putting some risk on in certain very selective areas, which we've done. So as you can see, there was a lot of companies, especially the high growth, the tech, speculative names got destroyed. And so, it was definitely red light for them. And so if you stayed with them, you wrote them down, but now's not the time to sell. Now's the time to jump back in. So, it's interesting. We're now on a green light, if you will. And but the key is to make sure that you're having a proper risk management that reaches your, meets your goals. And, unlike Squid Games, we don't want there to be blood in the streets and murder everywhere. So, it's important to make sure that you're, watching the levels and making prudent decisions. So, if I can help out in any way, if you have any questions, certainly give me a shout. And if you like this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. So we'll see you on the next Markets in 5.